Answers from as far as the eye can see to as close as the ground you're spinning on. From science and literature to history, math, and beyond.
We have our answer, Robert Kennedy.
This is Academic League.
Hello everyone, I'm Uma Lamal Onwuchekwa, a sophomore from Kearney High and your host for the 2026 Academic League. Tonight, it's Canyon Crest Academy facing off against Point Loma High to see who will earn their place as the 2026 Academic League champions. To give a little bit of a backstory, last night, Point Loma went up against Grossmont and blew them out 830 to 175. And on Monday night, Canyon Crest Academy went up against Olympian for more even 650 to 475. But first, before we even start the match, let's meet tonight's finalists and starting with their coaches from Canyon Crest Academy. Nice to meet you, ma'am. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, I understand that you are subbing in for Mr. Brian Shea, but I just want to ask, how are you guys feeling tonight?
Excited.
That's amazing. And you said that you wanted to visit 65 countries before you turned 65, and you have been working at Canyon Crest Academy for over half your life, or around half your life. Around half your life. So that's absolutely amazing, absolutely wonderful. Please introduce us to your team.
Okay. So first we have Joey Hahn, who has been participating on academic team and quiz bowl for several years. He's quite adventurous as he's summited Mount Whitney during his backpacking trips. When not competing in academic competitions, Joey is a member of our school's volleyball team, a basketball enthusiast who loves watching and playing with friends, an avid video gamer, and a passionate music listener. He will be studying engineering at Purdue next year. Next, we have Ishank Kadadi, a senior going to UC Santa Barbara for computer engineering. He enjoys going out to the beach with his friends, playing sports such as basketball and volleyball. Ishank is also an avid NBA fan, and his favorite team is the Golden State Warriors. Ishank loves all sorts of fine arts as well, whether it is paintings or music. We have our captain, Hayu Ming. He is a senior at Canyon Crest Academy. He's been a part of Academic League for all 4 years of high school, although he only moved to California in 8th grade. He has a real passion for chemistry and has taken all of the chemistry classes at CCA. He's also club president for Quiz Bowl and Science Bowl clubs at CCA and has gone to the national tournament in both competitions. At home, he loves playing video games with his friends and casual basketball games. We have lots of basketball fans, it turns out. After high school, he'll be studying chemistry at UC Riverside. Juliet Yoon is a graduating senior who has been competing in Academic League for 4 years and will be enrolling at UC Berkeley this fall, studying neuroscience. She lives in Carmel Valley with her mom, dad, younger sister, who is secretly a gremlin, pet dog named Bobo. She also likes to read, mainly Gothic and feminist literature, play clarinet at the San Diego Youth Symphony, and go outside, hiking, surfing, chilling, all of those things. Last up, we have the baby of the team, Shihu An. He is a 10th grader at Canyon Crest where he plays Quiz Bowl, does math, and works in our theater. He likes doing technical work in the theater, including being a stagehand and sound mixer for lots of our CCA shows. I was really surprised to see him myself behind the mixing machine. I've seen him only here, and there he was. He also hosts our Jeopardy Club at CCA, where he writes and hosts a completely original game every 2 weeks. Next year, he will be back with us at CCA.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. Best of luck to you and your team.
Thank you.
Now we get the chance to speak to Mr. Brian Campagnone from Point Loma High. Please, sir, come over. So, your team had a fantastic game last night. Absolute domination. But I need to ask you right now, for the people listening at home, are you having the same game plan, mentality? I don't know what you guys did the night before, but it's working. So, are you planning to act that way tonight?
I think, as I put in my biography, I'm clearly the dumbest person in the room when we're practicing. So the extent of my coaching is answer as many correctly as quickly as you can. And that's about it.
Well, that's
That's
fantastic.
it. I wish I had more to tell you. Yeah.
Please introduce us to your team.
Sure. The team requested a slight variation in their bios tonight, so we're going to mix it up. Liege Lord Roy Booker be studying poli-sci at Santa Barbara next year. He is a founding member of the Backgammon Club. You are, trust me. And Roy would like to remind everybody to please live long and prosper. We have Maggie McAteer, the Queen of Band, co-president of the Bombardment Society. But I'm sticking this one in there. If she gets a question wrong on rent, we're subbing her out immediately. Okay?
Amen.
Marquis Alex Shukri will be studying poli-sci at Clark University next year. Founding member of the Calligraphy Club. And obsessive of all things Star Wars. And president of MUN. Which, the next one, I got to say this right. Voivod Abe Zip, taking over as president of Model UN next year. Also a charter member of the Yankee Racers, and thank you, Abe, for proving me right when I said you are a sports expert by remembering that LeBron James is from Akron last night. Finally, King Bernard Francis King IV. I forgot to include last night that he is a golfer as well as being a curve wrecker in AP classes, and he is the founder of the Kite Flying Society.
Well, that's amazing. You have a very colorful team. Best of luck. So aside from the poli-sci majors, everybody who's going to UC Santa Barbara, and and our sports fans, we also have a special opportunity tonight. During timeouts, we'll be checking in next door at Studio B, where Academic League reporter Kaylin Jenks-Tuberg from Steele Canyon High will be chatting with some of the members from our live studio audience. But first, let's check out how we keep score. Finally, Jesus.
The Academic League moderator reads what are called toss-up questions. The first player on either team to buzz in gets a chance to answer within 5 seconds. If they get it right, they get 10 points and a shot at 3 10-point bonus questions. But if they get it wrong, they are penalized 5 points, and the other team gets the toss-up question. If that team answers incorrectly, they will not be penalized. But if they get it right, they get a shot at those 3 10-point bonus questions. And check this out. Here's how those bonus questions add to the score. The team can confer with each other during the reading of the bonus questions and for 5 seconds after the question is asked in order to reach a decision. And by the way, the answers must be presented by the team captain or their designee. At the end of those 5 seconds, a judge will call time, and the moderator will call for an answer from the team captain or designee. Team members cannot pass notes or papers after time is called, and at that point, there is no more chatting amongst themselves. If they can answer before time is called, the team captain must say, "We have our answer." If the answer is correct, boom, 10 points. Now that we know how points pile up on Academic League, let's get the show on the road by passing it over to our moderator, Mark Hines.
Thank you, Kaylin. And Uma, you should know that UC Santa Barbara is well represented, as I went there myself. Before we get started, I want to let you know at home that these students do this all the time in the evenings at their high schools, and you may not get to see them. So we really want to thank the San Diego County Office of Education and ITV for hosting these and showcasing what an amazing job these young students do before they go off to college here at the varsity level of Academic League. We have 30 minutes to go. We'll start the clock and begin with the first toss-up for either team. In this novel by Anne of Austria, she gives diamonds to the Duke of Buckingham. The protagonist of this novel finds a fleur-de-lis branded on the shoulder of the evil Milady de Winter. And we go to Canyon Crest.
Musketeers?
Yes, that's right. For your bonus, answer the following about the Dies Irae motif in music. The Dies Irae motif is often used for this kind of Catholic chant named for a 6th century pope.
Gregorian. Okay, we have our answer, Gregorian.
Yes, that's right. This piece by Hector Berlioz includes a Dies Irae motif in its march to the scaffold section.
Symphony Fenton.
Do you know the Chopin? Do you know the?
Answer, please.
We have no answer.
Symphonie Fantastique. The soloist plays the Dies Irae motif in a piece by Niccolo Paganini for this instrument. This instrument is the smallest string instrument in a standard orchestra.
We have our answer, violin.
That's right, for 20 on the bonus. For either team now, this city's Castro district is a predominantly gay to Point Loma?
San Francisco.
Yes. Answer these questions about lab techniques used in molecular biology for your bonus. Electrophoresis separates fragments by passing them through one of these substances, often made from agarose or polyacrylamide.
Gel.
We have our answer. Gel.
Gel is right. PCR is a method for quickly copying a sequence of this molecule with a mixture that includes A, C, G, and T nucleotides.
We have our answer. DNA.
Correct. Good. CRISPR gene editing utilizes enzymes discovered in prokaryotes that protect the cells from these tiny invaders. Examples of these parasites that infect humans include influenza and Ebola.
We have our answer. Virus.
That's correct. Good. 30 on the bonus. Next toss-up. During the late 1990s, this country's government was opposed by the Northern Alliance. Before that, this country's Mujahideen to Point Loma.
Afghanistan.
Correct, yes. Very bonus. In this novel, Su Wukong travels Pigsy, Sandy, and the monk Xuanzang to India. Named this novel by Su Wukong, who was trapped under a mountain by the Buddha for 500 years.
Journey to the West. We have our answer. Journey to the West.
Yes. Su Wukong is the king of these animals. In an unrelated series of book, Curious George is also one of these.
We have our answer. Monkeys.
Yes. Journey to the West about Su Wukong is one of the 4 great classic novels from this country.
We have our answer. China.
All are correct. Thank you. Toss up now. This artist painted a series of 100 oil paintings depicting a palace of Westminster. A Japanese footbridge passes over yellow and white to Point Loma.
Monet.
Yes, good. For your bonus, assuming that Beyond the Spider-Verse has not come out yet, there have been 10 major full-length Spider-Man movies since 2002. This 2003 film was a sequel to Into the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse? Yeah.
We have our answer. Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes, Across the Spider-Verse. The villain in that movie is this alter ego of Jonathan Ohm, who uses portals to travel to other dimensions.
Yeah, this one.
We have our answer. The Spot.
Yes. Another actor who played Spider-Man, Tom Holland, first played the character in Civil War, a movie about this superhero who uses a shield and wears a costume based on the U.S. flag.
We have our answer. Captain America.
All are correct. Thank you. Back to the toss-ups. In one novel written in this language, the narrator declares, "I'm a sick man. I'm a spiteful man," to Canyon Crest.
Russian.
Yes. Your bonus, answer the following about the Corps of Discovery expedition that took place from 1804 to 1806 to explore the western United States. The expedition was headed by these 2 people, and it's commonly referred to using their names.
We have our answer. Lewis and Clark.
Good, thank you. The expedition was helped by this woman who communicated with Native Americans. She gave birth during the expedition.
We have our answer. Sacagawea.
Yes. Sacagawea belonged to this group of Native Americans. The first federally protected national forest in the U.S., which is in Wyoming, is named for this group.
We have our answer. Shoshone.
All are correct, and that's 30 points. And we'll go back to the toss-ups. The Social Security amendments signed by this president created 2 Point Loma.
Franklin Roosevelt.
No, I'm sorry, I'll continue. That's a neg 5. Created Medicare and Medicaid. This president made it easier for black people to vote by signing the Voting Acts right, and also signed now to Canyon Crest.
Lyndon Johnson.
That is right, yes. For your bonus, answer these questions about the 2016 Margot Lee Shetterly book, Hidden Figures. The book tells the story of 3 African-American female mathematicians who worked in this role at NASA in the 1960s. People with this title performed difficult calculations before the word was applied to machines made by Dell and Apple.
Just computer.
Oh, I've seen the movie. Look at it. We have our answer. Computer.
Yes. Mary Jackson, NASA's first black female engineer, analyzed data from one of these tube devices that blow air over a model or aircraft part to measure aerodynamic forces.
We have our answer. Wind tunnel.
That is correct. Dorothy Vaughan, anticipating a shift in the use of technology at NASA, taught herself this programming language that is still used in engineering and data analysis.
Is it Cobalt?
Cobalt makes sense. We have our answer. Cobalt.
No, Fortran would be that.
Oh, my dad uses that all the time.
Back to the toss-ups here. This type of voltage maintains a fully charged battery without damage. This 5-letter word names a group of crocodiles in water. Visible debris is said to do this in the eye's vitreous humor, while any item with positive buoyancy does this? Point Loma.
Float.
Yes. For your bonus, a woman on a green bench sits next to a man with a hunting rifle in this artist's Mr. and Mrs. Andrews. Name this British painter who was a founding member of the Royal Academy. He was rivals with Sir Joshua Reynolds.
British painter knows Cole. Go with Tate or Tyler. Go with what he says.
We have our answer. Defer to Bernard.
Tate.
His name was Thomas Gainsborough. Gainsborough is most famous for painting of a boy who was dressed in this color. Pablo Picasso went through a period named for this color during which he painted The Old Guitarist.
We have our answer. Blue.
Blue is right. The boy in Gainsborough's Blue Boy holds one of these objects at his side. Many paintings of the Revolutionary War depict the tricorn type of these objects.
We have our answer. Hat.
Yes, good. 30 on the bonus. All right, and we'll go back to the toss-ups. This god removed the skin of Marsyas right away to Canyon Crest.
Apollo.
Yes, good. For your bonus, this book has often been compared to Hans Christian Andersen's short story, The Steadfast Tin Soldier. Name this novel by Kate DiCamillo about a doll owned by Abilene who falls off an ocean liner.
The Journey of Edward Tulane. The Miraculous.
I will give it to you then.
Yeah,
We have our answer. I defer to Juliet.
The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane.
Perfect. Edward Tulane is one of these animals. Beatrix Potter wrote about these animals, including Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail.
We have our answer. Rabbit.
Good. The miraculous journey of Edward Tulane is set during this decade. Esperanza Rising and Kit, an American Girl, are set during an economic downturn in this decade.
30s.
1930s. Yeah.
We have our answer. 1930s.
That's perfect. 30 on the bonus there. All right, for either team, one definition of these shapes, which is equivalent to setting their eccentricities equal to 1, is that each point on them to Canyon Crest.
Circle.
No, I'm sorry, I'll continue. That each point on them is the same distance from a fixed point and a fixed line, along with ellipses and hyperbola. We go to Point Loma.
Parabola.
Yes, that is correct. For your bonus, name the following important numbers. This number is the ratio of a circle's circumference divided by its diameter.
We have our answer. Pi.
Good. This number is one more than its reciprocal.
Triton.
I guess.
We have our answer. E.
That's called the golden ratio, or there are several goldens we could use. Your last one, this number is equal to about 2.718 and is the base of natural logarithms.
We have our answer. E.
Now we got E. That's right, 20 on the bonus there. For either team, we'll go back to the toss-ups. There are grand and petite forms of these entities. One of these entities can be referred to as hung in some cases. The Seventh Amendment to Canyon Crest. That's right. For your bonus, Christmas time folklore in this country involves a group called the Yule Lads, who have names such as Spoon Licker and Sausage Stealer. Name this Nordic island country that sits southeast of Greenland. Its capital is Reykjavik.
We have our answer. Iceland.
Good. Many Icelandic sagas describe this explorer's discovery of Greenland. He was the father of Leif Erikson.
Eric the Red. Okay. We have our answer. Eric the Red.
Yes, or Erik Thorvaldsson. Lutheranism was instituted in Iceland during this war, which went on for several decades between Catholics and Protestants following the second defenestration of Prague.
Is it 30 or 80?
It's 30. Okay. We have our answer. 30 Years' War.
That is correct. Good. We'll go back to the toss-ups. Tie score, by the way, with still 20 minutes left. This organization temporarily controlled Letitia, which is now the southernmost part of this country, Colombia. The creation of this organization was the last of Woodrow Wilson's 14 points to Canyon Crest.
League of Nations.
That is right. For your bonus, answer these questions concerning the properties of a magnet. The opposite poles of two magnets will attract each other, while two of the same poles will do this when placed next to each other.
We have our answer. Repel.
That's perfect. Materials lose their permanent magnetic properties above a temperature named for a scientist with this last name. This scientist and his wife shared the 1903 Physics Nobel Prize for their early research into radioactivity.
We have our answer. Curie.
Yes. To increase the strength of an electromagnet, you can add a ferromagnetic core, increase the current, or increase this quantity for the coil of wire.
The
Coils?
The
Number of coils.
wait, the coils per It's like length, right?
Answer, please.
Coil density?
No, I'm sorry, it would be the number of turns on the coil. All right, next toss-up for either team now. In the most recent version of this show, the supervillain Lord Zedd and the actors include Tessa Rao, Hunter Deno, and Chance Perez. When this set of television shows started in 1993, their title started with the words Mighty Morphin. Loma.
Power Rangers.
There you go. For your bonus, answer the following about Johann Wolfgang Goethe. Goethe was a writer from the Weimar region of this European country.
Germany. You ever answered Germany?
Yes. Goethe is perhaps most famous for the play Faust, and this novel in which the title character commits suicide after his unrequited love, Charlotte, marries Albert.
Sorrows of a Young Werther.
We ever answered defer to Roy?
The Sorrows of Young Werther.
We can take that or Luden des Jugendwerther, but that's the same. Goethe was fascinated by the Shakuntala, a work by this country's writer Kalidasa. Another writer from this country is Rabindranath Tagore.
India.
We ever answer India?
Yes, you got that. Thank you. All right, toss up here. To calculate a reaction's equilibrium constant, this quantity must be known for all reactants and products. Titration, and we go to Canyon Crest.
Concentration?
That's right. Answer the following about the history of Romania for your bonus. Because of Prince Vlad the Impaler, Romania and its region of Transylvania are often associated with these blood-drinking creatures.
We have our answer, vampires?
That's right. Romania and the Soviet Union were members of this defensive alliance named for an agreement made in another European capital which opposed NATO.
We have our answer, Warsaw Pact?
Yes. Romania's communist dictator, Nicolae Ceausescu, was overthrown and executed during this decade. The Berlin Wall was torn down near the end of this decade.
80s.
1980s?
80s.
Yeah. Okay. We have our answer, 1980s?
That is correct. Good. And we'll go back to the toss-ups. In a story by this author, Madame Le Pen and her daughter are killed by an orangutan. In another story by this author, 2 Point Loma.
Poe?
Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. Good. For your bonus, answer these questions about the AIDS crisis of the 1980s. In 1981, a connection was made between AIDS and a disease known to have existed for decades in the central part of this continent. Most AIDS cases still occur on this continent.
You ever answer Africa?
Good. In 1984, teenager Ryan White and many others with this genetic disorder were diagnosed with AIDS after contaminated blood transfusions. In this disorder, which was held by Prince Alexei of Russia, blood does not clot properly after an injury.
We ever answered defer to Bernard?
Hemophilia?
Yes. In 1987, this first antiretroviral drug to treat AIDS became available to the public. It is known by a 3-letter name.
We ever answer AZL?
Sorry, AZT. Close.
Time out, please.
We'll take a brief time out and we'll be right back. Point Loma. We'll make some substitutions.
Looking to widen your circle of friends, or better yet, make new ones? Whether it's academic league, sports, or something as far out as an astronomy club, there's always an after-school activity for you. If you can't find one, how about starting one? Remember, your school has your back. And we'll be right back after this timeout.
It's Kaylin Jenks Tuberg over here in Studio B, and I'm here with Audrey and William from Canyon Crest Academy. Now, earlier I was speaking to the two of you, and I brought up academic achievements, and William here was sort of voluntold. Tell me, what is this big academic achievement I've been hearing about?
I think my biggest academic achievement was doing research to make my own historical documentary on the Mono Lake case, which happened in 1980.
Oh, wow. And tell me, why did you find such an interest in this documentary and the subject behind it?
Well, I've always been really interested in environmental legislation and the history behind it. In fact, I'm in AP Environmental Science right now, so well, that's not the reason I decided to do the project, like the class, but I've always just been interested in that type of history.
Well, fascinating, and congratulations on that. Now, earlier last night, I was talking to one of the candidates or competitors on Point Loma, and they told me that they used an app called Protable. Tell me, how did you guys prepare for this academic league?
Yeah, so I think a lot of us use an app called Quiz Bowl Reader or QB Reader, and in addition to that, we have practices every week where we meet up at lunch with our coach and we go through questions and things that we should remember and so on.
Well, fascinating. Thank you both very much, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Back after a brief timeout. Thank you, Kaylin, for that interesting interview. Both teams have made substitutions. We're going to go to Canyon Crest first and talk to Hayu and tell us who's just come on board.
Yeah, so he was here last game as well, but here is Nash Masura. He is our resident music enthusiast, and he plays both the double bass and the French horn. He also loves to study linguistics, and I think he hopes to continue it in college, and he's also really good at swimming.
All right, thank you so much. And now we'll go to Alex at Point Loma and tell us who's come on for Point Loma.
This is Lily. She is a senior. She'll be studying political science at UMass Amherst in the honors program. At our school, she is a co-editor of the newspaper. She does water polo, and she is the one and only fencing club member. And for academics, she is our queen of high and low culture.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. We have a lot of poli-sci majors here. We also have an amazing thing going on. The match is only not even half over, and the score is exactly tied at 2:45. So what a great match and wonderful competitors. What we'll do is start the clock and continue with the first toss-up for either team. The founders of this movement are Patrese Cullors, Opal Tometi, and Alicia Garcia. This movement grew when George Zimmerman was acquitted after shooting Trayvon Martin. Point Loma.
Black Lives Matter?
Yes. For your bonus, answer the following about the country of Belize. Belize is the only English-speaking country in this geographic region of North America, which also contains Guatemala and Honduras.
Central America. We have our answer, Central America?
Yes, the capital of Belize is this city. The Congress of Belize meets in a city in this building designed to look like a Mayan temple. Answer, please.
We have our answer, Belize City?
That's a good guess. Belmopan would be that answer. Belize has a small community of Beche, members of this religion who are of African descent. In the United States, people of this sect of Christianity live in a 19th century lifestyle.
We have our answer, Amish?
Amish is correct, and that would give you 20 on the bonus. Toss up here. The three chains that twist to form this protein have a glycine at every third position to Canyon Crest.
Collagen?
That's correct. Good. For your bonus, this play is by Jean-Paul Sartre. Name this existentialist play featuring Inez, Estelle, and Joseph. All three are locked in a small room.
We have our answer, No Exit.
Perfect. Sartre had a relationship with Simone de Beauvoir, a philosopher from this movement. This movement seeks to establish equality between men and women.
We have our answer, Feminism.
Very good. Sartre also wrote part of a screenplay for a film about this psychologist who defined the id, the ego, and the superego.
We have our answer, Freud.
Freud. Perfect. 30 on the bonus. For other team, this country owns the Balearic Islands to its east and the Canary Islands to its west. Canyon Crest.
Spain.
Yes, good. For your bonus, this man died of an acute appendicitis after being punched in the stomach in his dressing room. Name this Hungarian-American escape artist.
We have our answer, Houdini.
Yes, Harry Houdini. Houdini cried while trying to get himself out of a pair of these things. He would pick at the locks of them while wearing multiple of these objects, often used in law enforcement.
Yeah. We have our answer, handcuffs.
That's right. Houdini was a campaigner against these events popular in the 19th century in which people attempted to reach spirits. Mary Todd Lincoln organized these events at the White House so she could feature dead children.
We have our answer, seances.
Seances, right. Good. All right. Next toss-up. This book ends with the protagonist family fleeing to Spain. The protagonist of this novel puts a parrot, Canyon Crest.
Matilda.
There you go.
Oh, so smart.
For your bonus, this state's Washoe County contains its city of Reno. Name this state whose most populous city is Las Vegas.
We have our answer, Nevada.
There you go. Las Vegas Strip contains a replica of this tower. They're also seen in Tokyo and Atlanta.
We have our answer, Eiffel Tower.
There you go. Las Vegas is in this county. Although only 7% of Nevada's land, this county is home to 73% of their population.
Is it Clark County?
Go for it.
Okay. We have our answer, Clark County.
Clark County, that's right. We'll go back to the toss-ups. This composer included a limping waltz is in his Pathetique Symphony and to Kenyon Crest.
Tchaikovsky.
There you go. Good. Your music expertise came in. Due to a 1970s marketing ploy, food from this company is often eaten on Christmas Day in Japan. Name this company whose logo depicts its founder.
We have our answer, KFC.
That's right. KFC's expansion into other countries is an example of this phenomenon in which the world becomes more connected economically.
We have our answer, globalization.
Correct. KFC, along with Taco Bell and Pizza Hut, is owned by Yum Brands, a type of this company in which a group of companies act as one corporate group.
We have our answer, conglomerate.
Conglomerate is correct. Very good. Thank you. All right, next toss-up for either team. The Adams-Onis Treaty ceded this state to the United States. Right away to Kenyon Crest.
Florida.
Yes.
Nice.
For your bonus, answer these questions about the ecliptic, the plane in which the Earth and most other planets roughly orbit the Sun. This closest planet to the Sun orbits a full 7 degrees off the ecliptic plane.
We have our answer, Mercury.
Yes. Pairs of objects in the ecliptic plane regularly create these events by appearing close together in the sky as seen from Earth. Venus and Jupiter had just a 51 arc-minute separation during one of these events in 2023.
Conjunction.
No. Transit.
No.
What?
We have our answer, conjunction.
Yes, you got that. All right, due to its tilt of almost 98 degrees, this planet's axis of rotation is closer to the ecliptic plane than any other planet in the solar system.
Uranus.
We have our answer, Uranus.
You're all right on all of those, 30 on the bonus. For other team now, this musician collaborated with Ella Fitzgerald to record songs from George Gershwin's Porgy and Bess to Kenyon Crest.
Louis Armstrong?
Yes. For your bonus, this state contains the geographic center of North America in a town called Center, although its town of Rugby also claims the honor. Name this state in the upper Midwest whose capital is Bismarck.
North Dakota.
Another state with a similar name.
We have our answer, North Dakota.
There you go. North Dakota's western half is known for this industry. In 2016, the native reservation of Standing Rock saw many protests against a pipeline for this industry.
Oil.
Yeah. You go for it.
We have our answer, oil.
That's right. This is the largest city in North Dakota. It shares its name with the 1996 Coen Brothers film.
Could it be Fargo? Yes, Fargo. That's a movie.
We have our answer, Fargo.
Fargo is right. Thank you. We still have 9 minutes left. The score is 485 Kenyon Crest, Point Loma 275. We'll go to the next toss-up. William Travis died in a battle against this country. Right away, Kenyon Crest.
Let's go.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, for your bonus. Constantino Bormidi painted the apotheosis of this person. Name this person. The Lansdowne portrait by Gilbert Stuart depicts this person.
We have our answer, Julius Caesar.
I'm sorry, George Washington. The apotheosis of George Washington is in this building's dome. This building is in Washington, D.C.'s Rotunda and depicts many scenes from the Revolutionary War.
Building or like
Just Capitol.
Okay.
You say Capitol.
We have our answer, Capitol.
U.S. Capitol building, yes. Washington, D.C. also contains a statue of a seated Abraham Lincoln designed by this sculptor. The sculptor also designed the Minuteman statue in Concord, Massachusetts.
I forgot his name. Say John Singer Sargent.
I defer to Shihu.
John Singer Sargent.
His name is John Chester French, so 20 on the bonus. Toss up for either team. In one novel by this author, the protagonist kisses Philip Leroy and befriends Gretchen and Nancy. The author wrote about a girl dealing with her parents' interfaith marriage in her novel, Are You There, God? Point Loma.
Margaret.
No, I'm sorry. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Name this American author of many young adult... Kenyon Crest.
Judy Blume.
Judy Blume. For your bonus, Norway and Switzerland are not part of this organization. Name this 29-member organization which the United Kingdom left in 2020.
We have our answer, EU.
I can accept that. Yes, European Union. This currency is the official currency of the countries in the European Union. Replace the franc in France and the mark in Germany.
We have our answer, the euro.
Yes, due to having the same currency, it's much easier for countries in the European Union to do this action. This term refers to the exchange of resources.
We have our answer, trade.
Perfect, good. Beyond the bonus. Next toss-up. The state contains the Herbert Hoover National Historic Site and the cities of Ames and Cedar Rapids. To Canyon Crest.
Iowa?
Yes, good.
National
For your bonus. Two of these birds named Hugin and Munin. Information to Odin from Midgard. Name these birds that are popular in both Norse and Native American mythology. These black birds sit outside the Tower of London.
We have our answer, ravens.
Good. Those birds are often depicted on these objects, carvings on large trees that began in the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia.
Yeah, totem.
Yeah, totem.
Just say totem.
Okay, we have our answer, totems.
Totem poles, yes. Those birds are associated with the sun in the mythology of this country. Romance of the Three Kingdoms is one of this country's novels.
We have our answer, China.
Perfect. 30 on the bonus. All right, the next toss-up. The goddess Nephthys is the mother of a guardian to this place, which is called, and we go to Canyon Crest.
Nile?
No, I'm sorry, I'll continue. That's on neg 5, which is called Duat. To get to this place, a human's heart must be weighed against a feather. We go to Point Loma.
The underworld?
Be more specific.
Field of grass?
Pardon?
The field of grass?
No, I'm sorry. You have to say Egyptian underworld. So no points there. We'll go to the next toss-up. Iodine ink is used to determine if these objects are real. In 2030, Harriet Tubman is going to replace Andrew Jacks to Canyon Crest.
Bills?
Yes. Bills.
The iodine pen.
Your bonus, a technique known as hand stopping is used when playing this instrument. Name this coiled whose name is based on a European country.
We have our answer, French horn.
Yes. The French horn is typically pitched in this key.
F.
The major scale in this key has one flat note.
We have our answer, I defer to Nash.
F.
You're right. The French horn represents the antagonist in this composition by Sergei.
Peter and the Wolf.
We have our answer, I defer to Nash.
Peter and the Wolf.
Correct, all are correct.
Time out, please.
We'll take a brief timeout and we'll be right back. Point Loma.
Hi, it's Kaylin Jenks-Tuberg over here in Studio B once more, and I'm joined with Charles from Point Loma. Looking awfully spiffy, I must say. Now tell me, I've heard that you are somewhat of a suit expert. What's up with that?
Well, I wouldn't say an expert, but I know some things about it, just 'cause I like to dress nice.
Awesome. Well, outside of that, do you have any other hobbies that you'd say you hold outside of academics or just academic league in general?
I play music. I play the piano and the French horn.
Awesome. So do you plan on pursuing that, or what do you plan on pursuing after high school?
I do plan on pursuing music.
Fascinating. Now, tell me, how stressful would you say everything was leading up to Academic League?
It was reasonably stressful, but I think being with the team makes it a lot easier. You know, you're not alone. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, I get that. And now, what is one of the biggest things you'd say you've learned from your teammates?
I think just like they help a lot with just knowing, you know, what everyone's strong at, and just teamwork, really, and leadership, I think.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and best of luck to you and your team.
Thank you.
back after a brief timeout, and both teams have made changes. We're going to start over here at Canyon Crest with Hayu. Hayu, tell us who's now come on your team.
So to my left, I here have Audrey, and she is going to go to CMU for electrical and computer engineering next year. And she, as I said last time, she's watched The Devils Wear Prada way too many times, and she's done robotics for a very long time. Here on my right, I have William Gao. He's going, I believe he's studying history at Stanford next year, which everyone thinks is super impressive, at least in our friend group. And he likes watching Vocaloid and likes playing Minecraft.
All right, amazing students here. All right, Alex, team captain for Point Loma. We've made some more changes here or no?
Maggie's back. She's going to do more of what she did last time.
All right, and I have to ask you about your attire. Is that for good luck?
It's for whimsy. I wore it for our senior night, which that match we made it into playoffs. So why stop it?
Why stop it? And why stop the clock? We'll continue. We have 5 minutes left, and we'll start it going again with the first toss-up for either team. If the output is a real number, the input to a log function must be this type of number. These numbers right away to Canyon Crest.
Positive?
That is right. For your bonus, answer the following about the presidency of Martin Van Buren. Van Buren was originally vice president to this first Democrat to hold the office, who argued with the Second Bank of the United States in the Bank War.
We have our answer, Jackson.
Good, Andrew Jackson. Before that, Van Buren had served as governor of this U.S. state. DeWitt Clinton supported building the Erie Canal across this U.S. state from its capital at Albany.
We have our answer, New York.
Yes. This economic depression occurred during Van Buren's presidency as a result of what some believe were his predecessor's policies.
We have our answer, I defer to Shihu.
Panic of 1837.
That's right, very good, thank you. All right, for either team now, the protagonist of this novel is followed by Detective Fix. Oops, we go right away to Canyon Crest.
Around the world in 80 days.
Yes, it is. Answer these questions about methods for separating mixtures for your bonus, please. A mix of water and sand can be easily separated by this method that uses a funnel and a special piece of paper. The water passes through tiny pores in the paper while the sand is trapped.
We have our answer, filtration.
Perfect, good. If a mixture of oil and water is left alone, the oil will form a layer on top of the water. The oil layer can then be poured off the water in a separation method with this name.
We have our answer, extraction.
The word is decanting. Decanting. A simple distillation apparatus will separate a mixture of liquids that have significantly different values for this property, usually more than 25 degrees Celsius apart.
We have our answer, boiling point.
Correct, 20 on the bonus.
Extraction, but you decant.
A type of perch named for this river is an invasive species in Lake Victoria, Canyon Crest.
Nile.
Nile, yes.
Second grade history knowledge.
Your bonus, the Boxer Rebellion took place during this dynasty. Name this ethnically Manchu dynasty of China whose last emperor was Puyi.
We have our answer, Qing dynasty.
Qing. Yes, the Qing dynasty was succeeded by Sun Yat-sen, who led the Republic of China, which was invaded by this country with a capital at Tokyo during World War II.
We have our answer, Japan.
Yes. The Qing dynasty suffered a century of humiliation during the Opium Wars with this country, which owned the port of Hong Kong following the war. Like the Netherlands, it also had an East India Company.
Yeah. We have our answer, Britain.
Yes. All right, and we'll go to the next toss-up here. An explorer from this country was the first explorer to reach both the North and South Poles. This country contains the world's largest population of Sami and is to Canyon Crest.
Norway.
Correct, you got it. Answer the following about Flannery O'Connor. O'Connor was from this general region of the United States. Much of O'Connor's stories are set in this region's states of Georgia and Tennessee.
We have our answer, the South.
The South, yeah. O'Connor's the most famous for this short story where a bandit called the Misfit kills the grandmother while on a road trip.
We have our answer, a good man is hard to find.
Very good. O'Connor's Everything That Rises Must Converge is about a racist woman who tries to give a black child money while riding one of these modes of transportation. Non-fiction books about the Freedom Riders feature these modes of transportation.
We have our answer, bus.
Bus is right. Good. Thank you. That's 30 on the bonus. All right, next toss-up. Bertrand Russell's teapot problem supports this belief. Canyon Crest.
Atheism.
There you go.
Extraordinary.
Answer these questions about Charles Darwin's famous book on the origin of species. At the start of chapter 4, Darwin defines this mode of evolution in which individuals born with advantageous traits for a particular environment tend to survive and reproduce, passing on those traits.
Ever answered natural selection?
There you go. In Chapter 11, Darwin discusses the geographical distribution of species, and particularly the various finches he observed on this island group off the coast of South America.
Ever answered the Galapagos?
That is right. The first chapter, Variation Under Domestication, takes 10 pages to cover pigeon breeds and significantly less space for breeds of these animals like terriers, spaniels, and beagles and dogs.
We ever answered dogs?
Dogs, yes. Thank you. All right, next toss-up. The corbicula, a basket for carrying this substance, is on some insects' legs. Canyon crest.
Pollen?
Yes, very good. Answer the following about Thailand for your bonus. Thailand is a country in the southeastern region of this continent.
Asia. We ever answer Asia?
This is the capital city of Thailand.
We ever answer Bangkok?
That's right. Thailand also borders this landlocked country that has a communist government.
No. Wait, Laos is landlocked.
Laos. We ever answer Laos?
Laos is correct, and that's 30 on the bonus. All right, the next toss-up. These people are next to Jesus in the far left panel of Hieronymus Bosch's The Garden of Earthly Delights. To Point Loma.
Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve, great. For your bonus, I think you'll like this one. Frito-Lay makes a lot of foods other than Fritos and Lay's. These top-selling tortilla chips have a nacho cheese flavor that comes in a red bag and a Cool Ranch flavor that comes in a blue bag.
We ever answered Doritos?
Doritos. I think all students know these answers, right? This snack is onion flavored.
What are they called? Funyuns.
We ever answer Funyuns?
Funyuns, yes. Frito-Lay bought Rolled Gold, a company that makes this food. Auntie Anne's and Wetzel's are companies that also make this food.
We ever answer Pretzels.
Pretzels are right. All right, well, thank you to both teams. We're going to turn it over to Uma. Our final score is Canyon Crest 850, Point Loma 310.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Canyon Crest Academy is the 2026 Academic League champion. But before we begin to congratulate them, let's congratulate our runner-ups, Point Loma High, for putting in all the effort to get all the way here. Best of luck in your future endeavors. Congratulations to the two-year champions, Canyon Crest Academy, for winning first place. I know it was a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of focus, but I need to ask you, as the captain, did you have to sacrifice anything to get to this moment?
I mean, like, it's like this competition is very similar to Quiz Bowl, and I spent like a huge amount of time in that. So I think like a lot of that transfers over to this. But yeah, I put like hundreds of hours into Quiz Bowl, so it helps a lot.
Hundreds of hours into Quiz Bowl is a worthy sacrifice, if I have to say. But I need to ask, not just you, but your whole team, is there anything you want to tell the world today?
I cannot think of something that quickly. Do you guys have anything?
We had fun.
Yeah, we had fun.
That's what this whole competition is about, having fun, enjoying the experience. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Thank you for putting in all of your effort. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been the 2026 Academic League champions. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming and watching. Thank you so much for every single moment. I'm Uma Onwuchekwa, signing off. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This has been the Academic League.